Hello everybody and welcome to Front Row Racing on this Thursday evening as we get ready to send the drivers over to the Circuit of the Americas for round 18 of the Front Row Racing World Series, which will send the drivers over to the track in a few minutes time. However, we have got a few little bits of items to go through before we do send them over to the track. Your commentary team for tonight is myself from Row Racing DP, but we also have TempFear and a special guest with us this evening, a driver who battled with him in last night's World Championship race, Bleeding Sunrise. To both of you, what are you expecting from the Circuit of the Americas for the drivers tonight?
Rain. I was on rain.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a dry race. I mean, it's in Texas. We had rain last night, so every chance for rain just went out of the window last night, I guess, statistically. So I think it's going to be dry.
No, I'll put the lobby settings on rain. Start rumours off now. Dave will love me for that one. No, but like I say, it's in Texas. It should be dry. Although, like I say, 2 years ago, 2015, it can be an interesting one, but it's not the easiest track, like I say, either. Turn one, not being easy corners with the uphill braking zone and then flattening out the end can be pretty tricky, and a few blind corners here and there. But they've seen how myself, Bleeding Sunrise, and the other WC drivers did yesterday, so see what they got. See what they've got on their sleeves.
Yeah, we got.
Oh, sorry. You saw that doing your admin stuff, Dave.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting race, is the Circuit of the Americas. It's an interesting track, and weather could play a massive part. But as I said, there's a few little bits of information we need to get out to our viewers today. One of which is that the petrol pumpers Mercedes team of Hindle and Konzo have now been confirmed as the Front Row Racing World Series Constructors Champions. So massive congratulations to the both of them. However, they're both still in a bit of a fight for the title, and we'll go through the last race results and the current standings in a few moments' time. I'm just going to go through the drivers we've got tonight. So petrol pumpers Mercedes of Hindle and Konzo, and then in the Crash Test Dummies Ferrari, we have Caribbean Crush in as a reserve for Jason, and we have Dave the Harp. Caribbean Crush, it's his second reserve drive in the Ferrari, and it'll be very interesting to see how he gets on today. Let's see, in the Censored Williams, we've got Garfield and Kane Ianda. In the New Age Outlaws Red Bull, we've got Rickster. Unfortunately, MX Everglow unable to race today. In the Hey Ho Double Toe Force India, we have Farfba and RDB. And in the Wrong Tyres Renault, we have Valdemar and SBL Mali Kekech. In the Prancing Rosso, it's $1 Million Herbie Toro Rosso, we have Ant 69 and the OG Dragon, who is in as a reserve for Milstar. And then we have the Mental Age of 10 McLaren drivers of Front Row Racing GP and Calzo. And then in the Yank and Limey Manor, we have Lefty Hardtail and Yuzi, who has now been confirmed as a permanent driver in that Manor team. And I have got a few comments from Lefty Hardtail about that I'll get on to later on. And the admin's pick rookie today is Gonk 721 in the Haas. So guys, if we want to send the drivers over to the track, if we are ready to, yes we are. So yeah, if you want to send them over to the track in TempFear, if you could go through the last race results from Japan for us, please.
So Japan, pretty interesting race. The championship, it made it a bit more interesting for us to watch. So Konzo took the victory, with ahead of his teammate Hindle by about 9 seconds. Hindle being quite nice to him last race with a few issues that he had. So, like I say, that ties up in the driver standings, which you'll hear about in a minute. In third place, we had the Censored Williams Reserve, which I actually can't remember who it was. Was it Curly Worley again?
Yes, it was. It was Curly Worley, yeah.
He finished third on a different strategy to the Mercedes. In fourth was SPL Manny Kekich, come from the back of the grid. He had a very good drive, so all my congratulations. Oh, I've said that completely wrong. I'll move on.
And you laughed at me about the Toro Rosso.
Hey, you said their old name. In fifth was the old crash test on his Ferrari. They had a reserve for them, which was Caribbean. In sixth was Valdemar, SPL Manufacturer's teammate, so not a bad result for them either. In seventh was Lefty Hardtail, just beating his title, well, not title, rival in the standings, Sprint Racing GP, who come eighth, but due to a penalty which he had with Ant, it was a collision with Ant, I believe, fell behind Lefty Hardtail. Ninth was Rickster. 10th was the good old Hainel Double Tail Force Simulator RDB, which we all love. 11th was David Hart. 12th was the admin's pick rookie. 13th was Ant, who was in the points. He did qualify quite well, and then he had a pretty terrible start. And then we had 3 did not finishes from the reserve, Bianchi Limey, Garfield, and Calzo, and a disqualification for 4th, which got a laugh at, and then 2 DNSs for MX Everglow and Millstar.
Yeah, MX Everglow and Millstar with did not start. Okay, so we're heading over to the racetrack now for the qualifying session of the Front Row Racing World Series Round 18 from America. I'm quickly going to go through the Drivers' Championship standings up to a point when we see the weather forecast and we all go, yay, if it's raining, or boo if it's not. Okay, so the Drivers' Championship standings for you then. There is still a fight on for the title in the World Series between Hindle, who's leading the way on 241 points, and his teammate Konzo on 229 points. A very difficult race for Konzo last time out, though.
Ooh.
And I'm guessing it might be raining. Have a look at the qualifying weather forecast for a moment, folks, while I get through these standings. Mystic Joker was in 3rd place, but now he has been permanently replaced. Everybody else will move up a position. So in 3rd place at the moment is Lefty Hardtail, who is 15 points ahead of Front Row Racing GP on 105 points. Oh, I'll just see what you're on about. Okay, then we've got Rickster, who is leading a 3-way battle for what will be effectively 5th place. So we've got Rickster on 71 points, Jason on 68, but Jason can't race tonight. And then we've got SBL Mali Kekech on 52 points. We've then got a little bit of a gap back to the FRR Admin's Pick rookie car, who's got 39 points. And then we've got 8 drivers in one hell of a battle. We've got Calzo on 38 points and 69 on 37 points. Dave the Harp and Valdemar are both on 34 points. Kenai Anders got 33. Farfber's got 31. Millstar's got 28, but he's not racing tonight. And RDB is on 25. Garfield's got 6, but we know that he's more than capable of scoring points. And then we've got MX Everglow, unfortunately, on 0 points. And as the drivers are getting out there to do their outlaps, we'll hand over to Bleeding Sunrise to take us through the Constructors' Championship standings.
Yes. Thank you very much, Dave. I've got the Constructors right in front of me. So, as said, congratulations to Petrol Pumpers Mercedes for clinching the Constructors victory already in the last race at Japan with 495 points. Behind them we got the Manor, Yank and Limey Manor with 283 points, and then things get starting to be a little interesting. Mental Age of 10 McLaren with 216 points, and quite near to them Censored Williams with 186 points. Wrong Tires Renault only 22 points behind them and on 164 points. Then we got the Ferraris at 137 points. Then at the back of the constructors, things are getting really close together again with New Age Outlaws Red Bull at 72, Million Herbie Toro Rosso at 65. Pretty close. If one can score a decent podium, then it changes all over just again. Hey Ho Double Toe 14, I like that name, at 57 points. Also just behind Toro Rosso, and we got the rookie Marabobo Haas at 39. So I wish them all good luck.
Okay, good stuff. Now, I have got a question of the day, and I haven't mentioned it to my co-commentators yet. So when I do that in a moment, it'll be the first time they get to hear it. And when I do question of the day, if you want to have a guess at the answer, feel free to get your guesses in onto the YouTube chat with an @FRR if you can, and I'll try and keep an eye on that. So as Valdemar is I'm on board with his set of 25.6 Sector 1 time, that's just to give my co-commentators a guide of what he's doing at the moment. I will do question of the day. And then I've also got some interesting stories from the paddock to sort of get out there into the public if I can. Okay, question of the day. It's a who am I? No. I have raced and won in Formula One. I wasn't born in the country I represent or born in the country I'm associated with. But 3 of my famous quotes are: if everything seems under control, you're just not going fast enough. Another one is, if you wait, all that happens is that you get older. And the 3rd quote is, everything comes to those who wait, except a cat. So, who am I?
Aren't 2 of those quotes quite contradicted?
Yes.
Yes.
I know the quotes though, I just don't know who said them. Oh, that's annoying.
So,
I'm screwed.
Yeah, I like this one. It's a good one. This is a real tricky one as well. Okay, so Valdemar did set a lap time, looking at Richter at the moment on a 25.9. But I'm just wondering, guys, if Farfba's out there on a lap at the moment.
I don't think so. No, he isn't.
Nope.
He isn't. Is his teammate out there at the moment?
Where is he?
It's all quiet in the commentary box.
He's not there. He ain't there.
Well,
2 Mercedes are on track
to
there.
keep things interesting, Mali Kekec just said a 36.8 on soft tires. Especially on soft tires, that's a good time to start off.
It is a good time. I mean, we could be looking at in the 35s, mid-35s for a super soft time. So anything sort of mid-36s on the soft tyre is very good. I am still on board with Richter, who's done a 25.9 Sector 1, a 39.6 Sector 2. So maybe down a little bit in that first sector, but let's see what his final sector is going to be. It looks like he's totally backed out of it. Yes, he has. Okay, let's go and see who else is out there at the moment.
Kane is on a flyer. He's just going into Sector 2. Did a reasonable Sector 1. Sector 2 could have been a bit faster. Currently in 3rd position, so it's a good starting point for him. But he's when I'm watching him for just a bit, and he's looking to put in a banker of a lap. It's not taking too much risk. He's really clean on his lines. It's just a tight lap. Oh, he goes back into the pits.
Yeah,
he's got a feel for the track.
He's on an in lap. Interestingly, Hindle is on the soft compound tyre. I think his teammate may be on the super soft tyre. Now, regarding drivers' pre-race comments, for anyone that watched the World Series race at Suzuka, they know about Hindle's pre-race comments there and the curse I apparently put on them, right? So I did say that I'm not going to ask him any racing questions for the rest of the season. So Hindle's pre-race comments, I said to him, congratulations on taking the Constructors' title in Japan. 4 races to go, 1 target, but what did you have for a pre-race meal? And he just answered with, a champion never reveals his secrets. Now, interestingly, you could take that as he is the reigning World Series champion, or do you take it as he's saying that he's going to be champion? So there's 2 ways that could be taken. Oh no, I mean it's fair to look at it a little bit like that, I think. Okay, let's see. Yuzi, he's on a lap at the moment, I think. Now, Konzo, I said I'd do the same thing for Konzo as well. I wouldn't sort of ask him any racing comments. So this is what I said to Konzo today. I said to him again, congratulations on taking the Constructors' title in Japan. 4 races to go, 1 target. But why is the Scottish flag blue and white and not a tartan effect? Which I thought was an interesting question. It's an interesting point to raise. And Konzo said, hi there, feeling good about the race tonight. It will be a 1-stop, but I have some different options depending on the race. Got good pace around here despite the track not being a favourite of mine, but it's challenging. As for the Scottish flag part, I'll get back to you on that one. So it seems that Konzo doesn't know why it is blue and white and not a tartan effect. Okay, U.S.A has done a 39.5 sector 2 time. What's his final sector going to be? It's only good enough for 7th place at the moment. Now, SBL Mali Kekec was setting himself up for a lap, and he is still setting himself up for a lap. But guys, if you could let me know if Farfba or RDB get out there on track, because I really want to get on to... Both of them are. Okay, in that case then, if one of you could keep an eye on SBL Mali Kekec in case he starts going quick. And the reason I want to focus on Farfba and RDB at the moment is because there's some interesting goings on around America last night, and I felt that I had to do something about it, or at least ask some questions about it. So when I was talking to Farfba earlier on today as he's making his way up towards turn 1, I said to him that it's been said that your teammate was seen running around the paddock in nothing but a cowboy hat and boots last night. What did you do to him to make him do that? And Farfba was being a little bit coy, but he said if he was in a cowboy's hat and boots, I wonder what his missus was dressed as out of the YMCA. My guess is as the Indian. So I'm thinking, okay, hang on, what's going off here? But I've had a little bit of a chat with RDB at the same time, and I've said, RDB, did you have a good time last night? And he said, yeah, I had a great night, thanks. Good fun with the missus. I'm praying for rain in the races, I'm sure you are. So we come to America, and it all goes mental in the Force India team.
So, to keep stuff a bit more serious, Mali Kekec just said purple, I think, on Sector 2. His Sector 1 was top 3 worthy, so he might actually beat his time that he previously set. It's gonna be a good one. If you can manage to set purple in the last one, might be a good time.
Well, he is heading up to the final corner now, so let's see, is he going to be pole position? It is going to be pole position, but there's still 7.5 minutes of this session left. And TempFear, one of the things that we've learned this season is, as Caribbean Crusher's gone and popped himself into second place, one of the things we've learned this season is that when it comes to the Mercedes guys, they have been quite happy for other people to qualify on the front and second row of the grid, because they know that it's going to give them a problem for strategy. Hindle, though, is about to set himself up for a flying lap on the super soft tyre, but TempFear, do you think he's going to go and complete it, or is this a sighter, a banker? Is he going to go for a super soft lap instead?
He will go for a super soft lap.
I meant a soft tyre lap.
Weather forecast. No, if they've got anything about them, they'll do a super soft run, which, most people went out on the softs on the first run, so it does indicate that, more than likely everyone is going to do a super soft run. I think Farfba and Rix are maybe the only 2 people out there on softs on the Caribbean. But say both Mercedes are on a lap now.
Cool. Well, Hindle's done a 24.
Very wide there. Sorry, just got in there. He's made a bit of a hack of that corner.
Okay, well, Hindle's done a 25.7. Is that purple, Bleeding Sunrise? I mean, you mentioned that SBL Mali Kekec was quick in Sector 1.
No. Valdemar set a flyer of 25.5 on a stint ago, but there are just a few guys who got a 25.5, 25.6, so no, not purple.
Okay, but if he gets a purple Sector 2 here, Hindle, then it could be that his car is set up more for high speed rather than the aerodynamic requirements of Sector 1 and Sector 2. It's a 39.2 Sector 2 time, so he's got an awkward little left-hander to go. The long right-hander, the opposite of Turkey's old turn 8. A couple of different lines you can take around here, and then the blind penultimate corner. Hindle very committed through there, absolutely plants that throttle, rear end steps out a little bit, and then a corner. I'm not really a big fan of the final corner here, and I don't think TempFear is after qualifying yesterday, and it's second place for Hindle. Where is Konzo? Heading in. Yeah, heading into the pits. Okay, who else?
I quickly mentioned about my final corner yesterday. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to set the lap or not. So I did back out of it, but I did also spin at the same time. But I want to quickly mention, Front Racing GP, it's a bit unusual for him. He's quickest in the speed trap.
Interesting. Well, I'm on board with him at the moment. I don't know if he's on a flying lap or not. We're just wondering, Temp, if you could give us from a Racing GP's pre-race comments.
Oh, this is going to be fun. I already know what this is going to look like. I haven't even looked at them. Give me a minute. Oh, God. This guy. Has he got the biggest one? Oh, no, he ain't. Oh,
be careful how you ask that.
Oh, I'm sorry if I offend anybody. And this is going to be horrible, right? So he's bringing in the softest set of tyres apparently, which I'm quite surprised at. And we asked him, an unfortunate penalty in the last race cost you a few points in your fight with Lefty Hardtail. Is America a track you can swing the points back your way? Have I got to do this?
Yep.
He said, howdy y'all. That penalty at Japan was so freaking annoying. I was like, dang it. Down here in Texas, I will get that done. This ain't my first rodeo. As for Lefty, he's all hat, no cat, and I'm rubbing as nervous as a lawyer in church. I hate you.
You struggled with that. It was perfect. It was absolutely fine English. You struggled more with that than you did with
what's
any of the other languages.
R-D-O-N-E. That's not perfect English.
Get her done.
Yeah, that's not English.
Well, it's Texan. Obviously. Okay, we're into the last 3.5 minutes of qualifying, and the reason why TempFear was mentioned a few moments ago about the Mercedes guys going for the super soft tyre is because if you haven't spotted it, I will quickly show you again, folks. The race looks like it's going to be a wet start to the Grand Prix, so it's advisable for all of the drivers to get out there on the super soft tyre because they're all probably going to be starting on wets or inters anyway. Okay, Lefty Hardtail is on a flying lap at the moment. He's done a 25.7 Sector 1, a 39.1 Sector 2. And when I was having a chat to Lefty earlier on today, well, he actually messaged me before I was able to really ask him a question, but I mentioned that he'd got a comment about his teammates as well. And I want to mention that because I think it's quite relevant. So Lefty Hardtail messaged me saying, hey up Dave, I'd made my decision on replacing Mystic Joker and it's been hard as you can imagine, with lots of interest in the spot. And it's difficult to not let people down as Lefty Hardtail improves and goes to 4th place. I am going to continue on what I'm saying about Lefty here.
Go to Caribbean Crusher, you abort. Go to Kelso.
Okay, so we're right on board with Calzo. But yeah, we're going to continue on with Lefty Hardtail's comments though, because like I said, I think it's relevant. Lefty said, I have spoken to the drivers that were in line for the seat. It was not about being the fastest, but rather who would suit being my teammate. Curly Whirly would make a great addition to front row racing, but the way I see it is not as my teammate. I feel that I'm too slow at the moment to warrant him as a teammate, and he should go with someone who will help him fight for the constructors. That is if Hindle and Konzo remain for 2017. If Curly Whirly could get someone amongst their pace, I think you'd have one hell of a fight for both drivers and constructors standings. So my choice is going to be U.S.A. We get on well and seem to have a good understanding of each other and our ability, so I would like to welcome U.S.A. to Manor. All he expects is a never give up attitude, and he's looking forward to the battle till the end with GP. Good luck to all, and good luck to GP as Calzo's done a 25.6. But I think that's quite interesting, Temp, what Lefty Hardtail said there, because we know that Caribbean Crush has not been given a permanent seat yet, but could you imagine how difficult to beat Curly Whirly and Caribbean Crush would be as teammates?
I mean, yeah, we've touched on this a little bit before about should someone pick Curly Whirly, should they pick Caribbean, so on. And I mean, yeah, Curly Whirly, as we've already seen, he won his first reserve race, so he's, more than likely, he's got the pace, we know that. Caribbean's done a similar thing, not necessarily won a race, but he's been at the front, qualified at the front, been on the podium here and there. Like I said, they've both got pace, and with how the Mercedes have done this season, if they were in it as well, it would probably still be constructors fight very close like we have in the World Championship. Yeah. Just to quickly let you know, Manny Kekich on a lap, he's improved his first sector, but went slower in the middle, and he just went a little bit wide, so that maybe is probably over. But he was also very quick in the last sector on his soft tyres, so he has got some pace. But quick question, he did improve. Quick question, what do you think the pole time will be?
Well, Malikek's just on a 35.8 and Valdemar's in second place at the moment, so I guess it's going to depend on what oh no, not again. Hindo! The Japanese effectors carried over. I blame the sushi. It depends. It's because I keep thinking Hindle and Konzo. I've blended them into a Hindo now. Yeah, it depends on what Valdemar, Hindle and Konzo can do, because they're all on a lap at the moment. Valdemar is into sector 3 now, and I believe Hindle and Konzo are on laps. And I mean, these Renault guys, they have been getting quite a few pole positions and the odd front row lockout, but like I say, it's been in sessions where the Mercedes drivers have thought, you know what, we don't worry too much about qualifying, we get no points there, we get points in the race and we can do a pit stop less. So Valdemar heading up to the start finish line now as GP goes wide at the final corner. Can Valdemar take pole? No, he can't. When I can get on board with the next person, I will do as quickly as I can.
Konzo really needs to finish the lap. He's sitting 9th at the moment, so he really needs to make sure his lap counts.
That he does.
The final corner now.
Yeah, his teammate's only a couple of corners behind him as well. So where is Konzo going to position himself? It's third place. Crucial for Konzo.
Go to Hindle. Go to Hindle.
I will when it lets me. So Hindle coming around the final corner then. He's in 5th at the moment and he stays 5th. So Konzo has got a car between himself and Hindle. Good stuff there. Farfba, he's back into the pits. He must be getting the hat and boots ready for RDB. Okay, in a few moments' time, we will obviously run through the qualifying order and then join the formation lap. I will jump out of the lobby to come back in and catch the start of the race. Obviously, there's a few drivers' pre-race comments we haven't got through, but I tried to get through a few of the sort of important ones there. The most important one being whether RDB had a good night last night, but also Lefty Hardtail's comments, and apologies for the flickering screen at the moment, folks. Not a lot I can do about that, unfortunately. It is a little bit annoying when it goes like that, but I mean, from qualifying, guys, what do we take from qualifying there?
Well, I want to quickly mention that this flickering screen allows us to see the positions of drivers, and have you seen who's in second? Calzo snuck into second place. Interesting. So we got SPL Malikekech on pole position with a 35.8. Calzo second place. His older brother behind him in third, Konzo. And then we've got Valdemar in fourth, Hindle fifth, Rickster sixth. Nice time for him. Kane Ianda seventh, Lefty Hardtail eighth, Caribbean Crushing ninth, Yuzi in 10th. Then we've got Ant69 in 11th from a Racing GP 12th, Garfield 13th, and then we've got RDB, the OG Dragon, Dave the Heart, Farfba and Gonk 721. So regarding the driver's standings and the constructor's standings, a little bit of an interesting qualifying session there that mixes the grid up a little bit. And something else that mixes the grid up is SPL Malikekech also left the session during that period. But yeah, like I say, it's something with the Mercedes this season. I'm a bit surprised though that one session where they can prove their pace and they're not where you think they should be. The thing is though,
if they'd not been practicing on the super soft tyre, then they wouldn't know really how to get the maximum out of it. Whereas,
it's true.
Whereas if
but this track, I feel it can qualify on the super softs and still do a one stop. I mean, and it's, you know, rain's going to happen every now and then.
Yep. I mean, rain is happening now, and it's suggesting I start on the intermediate tyre, so I'm guessing that's what it's going to start everybody on as well. But we are going to get ready for the beginning of the formation lap. And yeah, SPL Malikekech had a few problems there. I'm going to quickly jump out of the lobby once the formation lap is underway for my car. And a quick mention there as well about SPL Malikekech. I mean, it's disastrous getting disconnected right at the end of qualifying. He may not be able to take control of his car right at the start. But I do know that one of the rules that was brought in was that if you get disconnected at the end of qualifying, then are able to get back into the lobby, it can sometimes take a lap and a half, up to 2 laps for the game to allow you to take control of your car. And the rule was brought in to say that if you disconnect sort of at the end of qualifying and come back in, you can retake control of your car because you have been penalised enough at the start of the race. Whether he's going to be able to get in control of his car or not, I do not know. We'll have to wait and see. So it could be disastrous for SBL Malikekech though. Right, let's see. I mean, yeah, it's not showing me SBL Malikekech's car on at the grid at the moment, so he may have problems getting in on this one, and if that's the case, it's disastrous for him. But it would mean that Calzo would have effectively a free run up to turn 1 with his brother right behind him. Now, is Calzo going to do Conzo any favours, guys? I mean, we talked about it before during the season. It's a new conversation for Bleeding Sunrise, but is Conzo going to have muted his microphone and shouting, "Calzo, let me through, let me through"?
Nah, if you're a real racing driver, racing is racing. I wouldn't care if it was my brother or not. Get out of my way, and if you not let me, I will make sure you do.
Yeah, interestingly as well, I was talking to Calzo earlier on, and I said, with the title contenders in their own fight and maybe driving cautiously, will you be able to capitalise on that? He said, I don't know what compound to bring today because I wasn't expected to race tonight. I don't think the contenders are going cautiously all the time. They're just more patient and careful with their moves. Probably won't capitalise on that because I hate this track and I don't think I will get a podium tonight. Well, you know what? Starting second on a track you hate, not a bad situation. Okay, so as the drivers line up on the grid, then we're going to get ready for the start of the race once it allows us to. So the last few cars lining up on the grid. The tension builds. The tension's really building. So it looks like SBL Malikekech may have been able to get in control of his car. His car is there, but the 3 lights are on. We're getting ready for the start of the Front Row Racing World Series Round 18 from America, and away they go. So SBL Malikekech's car is there, but Calzo's going to take the lead. Is he into turn 1? He is. He's up the inside as Conzo round the outside. The other Renault up the inside. A bit of contact in the midfield. Williams on Manor on Ferrari. Force India on Toro Rosso, and Calzo's been dropped down to second as we've got a Red Bull trying to sneak around the outside, and that's Richter. So the Mercs taking it perhaps a little too cautious. One of the Mercedes, that's off. That's Hindle, I think, off wide as Conzo is just ahead of them. We've got Williams and Force India battling side by side, taking a bit of an advantage of the different lines of this circuit. But what a start from Valdemar to take the lead of the race, dropping Calzo into a little bit of traffic with Richter right behind him.
Just to let you know, Front Racing GP had a collision with someone at turn 1 wheelie guest who's on the inside of the track, and then left it hardtail his championship rival even. Also had an issue down in turn 3 and 4, so not going too well for those guys.
So the 2 of the guys that are fighting it out in the standings having problems on the opening lap. But as they head down towards turn 12 now, we've got a Force India trying to have a look at overtaking Conzo. So I think Hindle is ahead of Conzo, is he?
Yeah, Conzo down in 6th. He's lost 2 or 3 places at the start, and Hindle is up in 4th. So yeah, gone up 1 over Conzo. But I think Rickster's the big man on the move there. It's a 3rd.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
and even Valdemar capitalized on the start, moving from 4th place to the lead at the moment.
Yep, Valdemar needs to try and open up that gap a little bit if he can, because I think the more that Calzo... Oh, he's round wide, that's going to give Calzo the opportunity to take the lead of the race. So yeah, he was leading into turn 1, and now he's leading into the final corner as Valdemar now down to 2nd place. Rickster... It wasn't showing Rickster on my list for a moment there, but yeah, Rickster up into 3rd place. Fantastic situation for him, but also for Hindle. And that's Caribbean Crush that's catching up to the back of Hindle as well. And we know that Caribbean Crush will not hang about if the opportunity arises. Calzo, though, coming under a little bit of pressure again from Valdemar. But I did also notice in the background, guys, the Williams and Force Indias were having a bit of bumper cars down there in the background. How are they getting on?
Last I saw, not Garfield, Peter Williams drive out. Oh, I'm screwed up. Yeah, SSR IDB was side by side with one of them, and Park was joining in that battle a little bit.
Okay, so we've got at the moment we've got 5 cars pulling away from Konzo. I'm wondering if Konzo's perhaps got a little bit of damage, or he's not liking these conditions, as Valdemar is really having a look here at Konzo, and I think Konzo is coming under attack as well. Let's see if Valdemar's going to be able to make the move. Caribbean Crush, he's looking at making the move for sure, and has he? Yes, he has, up the inside, making Hindle go the long way around. That's up to 4th place for Caribbean Crush.
Konzo was a bit cautious compared to the 2 guys behind him. Kenyan just made a brilliant move on U.S.A, and they're still side by side. But yeah, I thought he was going to go right into the side of Konzo there, but I can't see any damage on his car. I know it doesn't always show the damage, as Kenyan just on the inside of him, so yeah, he's really struggling. I just think he might not have set the conditions that he set up, might not be suiting him.
Could be. I mean, if he's on a very low aero setup, then yeah, he could definitely be struggling in these conditions, and he's running wide through the long right-hander. And side by side around the outside, the Williams tries to go, and he's going to make it work. Is he? A little twitchy in the background. Williams off as well, but I think that's is that Kane Ianda in the background?
Kane Ianda's attacking Konzo.
Okay, it's Garfield that's having problems then getting past RDB, who is lagging.
Yeah, I was watching Garfield for a bit. He was in front of RDB. RDB passed him, and the other Force India was trying to as well, but he went wide. Well, RDB went wide himself to give Garfield the place back. It's a hefty battle at the moment, and they're both fighting for the same bone. They're not letting go of each other.
Okay,
he's top 5.
Well, I was going to say, unfortunately I missed it while there was all that action going on a little further down. Caribbean Crush has managed to get past Rickster. He's now up into 3rd place, and I know I sent a message to Caribbean Crush. He didn't get back in touch with me in time, but one of the things that I did say to him was that when he had the World Series Reserves race here last week, he wasn't very happy with how his setup was feeling and all that kind of stuff. And I know one of the questions I'd asked him was, have you sorted those out for tonight? And I'm guessing at the moment the answer is yes. Now Konzo having an attack on the Williams of Kane Ianda, but Kane Ianda going very deep on the brakes. Is he going to go too wide? No, he's okay at the moment. So let's get back on this leading 5 cars. Oh, as Konzo looks like he went a little bit wide there, or Valdemar was just trying to have a sneaky look up the inside.
I'd say the latter out of that. Like I say, that corner is 2, 3, even 4 lines potentially to take through there, as Bleeding Sunrise showed me yesterday.
You're welcome.
But, yeah, it's interesting because you can really get someone out of shape by kind of forcing your way through, and then they got to get out of it. But in these wet conditions as well, they got to be extra careful, so cautious, careful.
That they do.
I'm really struggling with words today.
I hadn't noticed. TempFear. Valdemar coming under a little bit of pressure, but DRS is not active, and that's something obviously we're going to need to keep an eye out for, because when DRS becomes available, that's kind of a sign to the drivers that it's going to be dry enough potentially for a set of slick tyres, but it doesn't look like the rain is easing up any time soon. Valdemar still holding on to 2nd place, but it's looking ever so slippy and treacherous out there at the moment, guys. I mean, yesterday you two raced in the World Championship, and it was rather odd wet conditions, but I mean, does it look similar to what you had yesterday? Does it look different?
I think it looks a bit wetter. Last night it took quite a bit of time for the track to get wet enough to go to the intermediate tires. I remember I was on chat with Mr. Hamilton, and every lap we were like, "Is it time now? Is it time now?" And then, all right, I will go another lap, and then we both pitted. I think at exactly the right time, but I think well, it's wet enough for Intus. Yeah, I think it's better.
Okay.
I mean, looking at the weather forecast quickly before we start the race, it's actually going to dry out very soon. So, I mean, that's definitely a factor here, that it is drying out, because you can see there's a dry line in comparison to the rest of the track. So, they might be struggling with overheating as well.
That is a possibility. I mean, the thing is, we're in Texas as well, so if it does stop raining and the sun comes out, it could dry up very, very quickly. And this is a circuit where if you get a pit stop and a tyre change called absolutely beautifully, you'll gain massive amount of time. I mean, I'm not talking 1.5 seconds. I'm talking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds. It could be that drastic.
Well, yeah. I can prove that yesterday. I think I lost about 10 seconds on one lap on it. So, yeah, they've just got to watch it and keep trying to talk to their engineer about the weather forecast, and then they've got to make the right call. Do they go for set of mediums to the end, or do they do 2-stop effectively?
Okay, Temp, could you keep an eye on that battle up at the front for us, please? And Bleeding Sunrise, could you give us a quick shout out if there's anybody else fighting elsewhere? I'm just having a little look through the grid.
Sorry, at the moment we got a teammate battle in the back for P12 between Ant and the OG Dragon. They before Sector 1 they were on each other's bumper, but I think the OG Dragon, Ant had a bit of a mistake, so they're now a bit more further away from each other. But it was an interesting battle to watch, something else than front cars.
All Valdemar's gone very deep at the end of the long straight. Caribbean gone past on the inside, side by side into turn 13 or 12.
Turn 12 now into turn 13, yeah.
Yeah. Valdemar's gone a bit deep there, but yeah, Caribbean was getting quite a nice toe down the back straight, and
he's gone for a
Valdemar
switchback.
tried to brake a bit too late.
Ooh, yeah, Caribbean Crush tried the switchback there, and it can work, but if the car ahead covers it off quite nicely, then it won't work. Oh, Valdemar very sideways through the long right-hander and sideways again. That's
He's taking my drift lessons.
It does look like it. I mean, that's going to overheat those rear tyres, and he's going to struggle then in the following corner. Caribbean Crush, he's going to have an opportunity now to potentially make the move here. I'm looking, there's no DRS opening up on any of the cars. Hindle in the background may have a chance as well. Caribbean Crush having a look up the inside. They've got to be so careful on the brakes. Takes quite a bit of curb, but Caribbean Crush manages to make the move, or does he? No, side by side, a little bit of contact. And Valdemar holds on to second place.
Well done, well done. I must say hats off to him. That looked really, really tight, and I was like, oh no, it's going to end badly. But they're both really skilled. Oh! Caribbean Crush goes a bit wide onto the
I think Hindle, Hindle I think may have just had a little bit of lag there, or either that or he's just tagged the back of Rickster. But as Valdemar and Caribbean Crush start fighting, this is going to allow Calzo to run away. And guys, is it just my eyes, or has the rain stopped?
The rain stopped. Yeah, it's now a matter of time before the track is dry enough to go to a set of dries, and it might be possible to run the mediums till the end from here on.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I think From Racing GP said on the broadcast yesterday that a set of medium tyres could potentially do 23 laps. So you could effectively put a set of medium tyres on now and potentially get to the end if your tyre wear is good enough. The question is your tyre wear good enough, and is doing 2 super soft stints quicker? Oh, I can see in the background there's a bit of a battle between U.S.A and Garfield for 8th and 9th place. But guys, you're going to have to keep an eye on the pit lane here, because also SPL Mali Kekec was able to get back in control of his car. He's having to fight his way back through the field now. He's up to 13th place. Let's see, Lefty Hardtail currently in 17th place. So his battle with GP not going too well, but at the same time, they're not in a point scoring position, so it's not going to make any difference to them at the moment.
No, Rickson seems to be, well, I would say holding Hindle up, but Hindle's not exactly like jumping at every opportunity to get past them, but they are dropping a bit in the top 3 here.
Yeah, okay.
But, GP is spitting. GP is spitting. Let's see what he does.
Well, I was about to say, when would you make that call, guys? Would you wait? Would you play safe and do it late, or would you take that gamble?
Sorry, go on.
I'm going to say, I think with these guys, they've got tyre wear to play with on these intermediate tyres. They're not exactly done like half a race on them, so they have a bit of room.
Well, I tell you what, the pit lane's looking dry. GP's gone for the medium compound tyre, but it was a long stop. I think he's had a stop-go penalty there.
I'll check that in a minute. But yeah, they have some tyres to play with, and
I'm going to have to cut you off in a second because Caribbean Crush is about to make an overtake on Valdemar. Having a look up the inside into turn 12. No DRS available and not good enough on the brakes available for him. Is he going to be able to go for a switchback move into 13? He's going to try it. Yes, he's got the inside line. He's got the drier line, but Valdemar's going to hang it all the way around the outside. He's now going to have the inside line unless he goes too deep. Caribbean Crush trying to have another look at a switchback. Not quite able to do it. Sorry, Tem, you were going to say about when to pit.
Well, looking, I'm on board with Caribbean, and I reckon he could win the next 2 laps.
I think...
It looks right.
I was going to say, Calzo's probably had GP on the radio already telling him whether it's time or not, and Calzo hasn't gone into the pit, so GP on the...
One's got a bit deep. Caribbean might have an opportunity into turn 1, getting back in the turn.
Bleeding Sunrise, check where Hindle is. Hindle is not on the back of Rickster anymore as Caribbean Crush goes for the move on the inside of Valdemar into turn 1.
Hindle lost his front wing.
Oh!
Hindle lost his front wing going into the pits now. I guess for a set of drives, but he's out of his front wing. I didn't see what happened to him, but yeah, something nasty.
Okay, so problems for Hindle then. I just happened to realise that he wasn't behind Rickster. He's going for the medium compound tyre as well. That could be crucial with his battle against Conzo. So what is Conzo going to do? It's a long, painful stop for Hindle. He's going to come out in 14th at the moment. There is a car coming around the final corner. He could come out in 15th. No, he's 13th because he's jumped the Force India that is ahead of him. That just goes to show how much time he's lost. RDB is right behind Hindle, and they've both made a pit stop.
I'm on board with Conzo, and comparing to when I first came out on intermediate tyres yesterday, it looks just as slow. If it's not a crossover point now, then I'm quite surprised, but...
Yeah, I think Conzo needs to get in the pits. U.S.A. and... Garfield battling. Garfield's got his DRS wing wide open. This could be an attack here. So U.S.A. is in 7th place, but not for long unless he can hang it all the way around the outside. Garfield takes the inside line into 12. U.S.A. tries to fight it, but the curb was too slippy. He's got the inside line, but Garfield is just ahead. Very difficult conditions now for these guys on intermediate tyres on what is looking to be a very dry track out there, guys.
Yeah, I pit now.
Calzo does.
Valdemar's into the pits with Caribbean Crush right behind him. The lead is into the pits. Everybody's pitting now.
And is it exactly the right time? We'll have to see. I think from a racing. Well, I was going to say, I mean, has he gained anything? Is he going to gain anything?
Garfield's got deep. He went into the pits. Oh, how he's get that out of the wall, I'll never know.
Okay, so coming out of the pits, Calzo then on a set of medium compound tyres. He potentially could get to the end of the race. So, what have we got? Let's see. Calzo still leading. If it gives me the right names on the screen, I'll be able to give us a decent run through. So Calzo leading, Valdemar in 2nd place on the medium compound. Caribbean Crush, has he gone mediums as well, or has he gone for something different? We'll have to wait and see for the camera to change. Super soft tyre.
Super soft. Yeah.
Ooh.
So Caribbean, well it is because they've guaranteed they've got to stop again. So Caribbean Crush has got to get a shift on. Valdemar though, he's attacking Calzo already as they head down towards turn 11. He's in position for DRS and he's going to be in position to take the lead of this race.
Yeah, I know from sorry.
Okay,
I know from Valdemar that he doesn't really like the rain because he thinks he is not as fast in it. So I think his relative pace is really good. Now he tries for the overtake. Now he just can't do it. But I think he's got to run for the win today.
He has, but it all depends on what Caribbean Crush is going to do now. Because if Caribbean Crush, Valdemar nearly side by side, he's having a look up the inside. An audacious move, but can Calzo go for the switchback? No, he can't. What a move!
While you was watching that, Conzo's just made an overtake on U.S.A. And I want to quickly mention the OG Dragon. I think he pitted the lap before majority of where everyone else pitted, and yes, well, I can't remember what was it before, but I'm pretty sure
Valdemar, he is
he's under
attack.
Caribbean Crush is going to have the both of them here. Yeah. He's on the faster tyre. He's going to have Slipstream. I'm on board with Caribbean Crush. Let's see what he can do. He's heading past Conzo now. Is he going to be able to get past Valdemar? No, he's not, but he's going to try and fight it around the inside. Caribbean Crush needed to make that move, and he needs to make another one as quickly as he can, because if he can get into clear air and run away, he's on for a fantastic opportunity here as the OG Dragon posts the fastest lap, soon to be taken off him by Hindo. And I am going to stick with that name.
Have you seen who's behind Hindle?
I haven't jumped off this leading trio at the moment. So, who is behind Hindle?
The person who started on pole and dropped to the back due to that disconnection. That's what the pit stop did for Hindle.
Yeah. It was a disastrous pit stop for Hindle. Caribbean Crush, he's got another opportunity now to attack Valdemar. He's had a fantastic exit. He's right up that rear wing before he even opens the DRS. Now we'll get the speed boost heading down towards turn 12, and he's already ahead. But what can Valdemar do? Caribbean Crush has already watched Valdemar make an audacious move into turn about 14-15 it is. So what's Valdemar going to do this time around? Is he going to be able to chuck it up the inside? No, Caribbean Crush covered it off quite nicely. So Caribbean Crush leads this race. What else have we got going on elsewhere, guys?
Bit spread out for the midfield until you get to OG Dragon, which I think Bleeding Sunrise may have about to mention.
We got Dave the Harp having an attack on the OG Dragon on a freeway fight. Hindle in 10th position, right behind them. He's on the speed. He's pushing the Ferrari just around the track around Turkey turn 8. But he needs to get a move on. But he drives a bit. Ooh, yeah, he drives a bit like he's a bit frustrated. He wants to get the move fast, but. Yeah, he doesn't seem to quite be able to do it.
Okay, Temp, keep an eye on Hindle for us. Not Hindle, Conzo, sorry. As Hindle is catching up to the back of Dave the Harp. Hindle needs to make moves if he can. He can't afford to get attacked by SBL.
Yeah, he lost the position already. And when he said it on turn 1.
Wow. Oh, I think SBL...
Oh, he tapped the button. They crashed.
I was going to say, I think SBL had decided, you know what, that might not have been a fair move. I'll give him the position back, and then got hit up the rear by Hindle. I hope that hasn't given Hindle any damage there, but it definitely could have cost him some time, because Hindle has now got Garfield right behind him on a set of super soft tyres.
Hansa may make a move into 10-11, just to let you know. The speed difference between the first sector...
Oh yeah, he's making the move now. Oh, Twitchy! Was that Twitchy or was that lag?
I think it was the latter.
I hope it was lag. We can't be doing with another Spa situation. But Conzo up to 5th place now. Gap between him and the leader is 14.8 seconds. But the gap between Conzo and Hindle, that's going to be interesting.
Guys, I don't know if you saw, but Caribbean Crush took the lead. Valdemar's in 2nd, and Colso is in 3rd.
Yep,
so they switched to each other around. Oh, okay.
Yep, we did manage to catch that. So keep an eye on that though, Bleeding Sunrise, for a moment, and let us know if anything changes. I'm just having a quick look. Dave the Harp in 8th place. He's got the OG Dragon. So Dave the Harp has made a move on the OG Dragon. Unfortunately, we have missed it. When you got a race like this, look at this. 5 cars, Hindle. I think Hindle must have had front wing damage from that little bit of a moment with SPL Mali Kekec. Mali Kekec, though, making a move on Garfield down the main straight into turn 1. And who is that right behind? It's RDB, who's trying to gain on the medium compound tyre now. And Ant69, he's not too far away either. But that's disastrous for Hindle. And something else that... is it disastrous? I'm going to say, where is he? Okay, From a Racing GP was one of the early ones to pit. He's in 14th place at the moment. Maybe pitted a lap too soon, but I think he has gained a position through the pit stops anyway. But that could be because Hindle
came out stone dead last.
Yeah, stone dead last. Set of soft tyres. Going to try and take himself to the end.
How it can turn on its head.
Yeah. Well, there is still some more twists and turns to have in this race. Caribbean Crush, who is currently leading, he's going to have another pit stop to make. Bleeding Sunrise, you may want to have a look at when that may be that Caribbean Crush is going to need to make that pit stop, because he has to pull a gap now. Because if he can't, he may struggle later on.
Yeah, it's going to be around lap 18, I guess, because they pitted on, I think, on lap 9. Yeah, they did. I will have a look.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
someone else who's going to have to get a gap quickly. Tonzo. I mean, he looks good at the moment, but you put a pit stop on him, you put an extra 20 seconds on where he is, that brings him out right in that big battle down around 10th place. So he's not looking comfortable yet to gain a few points on a hill.
Well, something to keep an eye on there is whether Konzo is catching Rickster, because Rickster in 4th place is on the medium compound tyre. He's 8 seconds off the leader, and Konzo is 14 seconds off the leader, so it's what, 6 seconds between them. So it's going to be interesting to see if Konzo is going to be able to catch him. Let's see, Yuzi in 7th place. He's got... let's see, a 4-second gap over Dave the Harp in 8th. SBL Mali Kekec is sort of the start of this sort of pack of cars. So the gap between Dave the Harp and SBL Mali Kekec is not huge either. But the OG Dragon is coming under pressure from Garfield. So I'm going to keep the camera on these guys for a moment, because it looks like Garfield is going to be a little bit impatient and wants to get past as quickly as he can. But the OG Dragon doing well, currently in 10th place. And in the background, Ant69 looking to make a move. He is going to try making a move on his rival on and off the track, RDB. And will have absolutely loved that one. RDB will have hated it, and he's going to do everything he can to get himself back ahead. And for anyone that knows these guys, Ant69 makes a mistake. RDB sneaks through. But yeah, anyone that knows these guys knows that this is going to continue on off the track as well. They have a good laugh with each other. It is personal.
These two have been on about this all week.
Well, interesting.
Ahead of them, Kenny Anders not Kenny Anders, Garfield, sorry, he's making a move in some more. I'm trying to find out who that is.
Garfield has got past the OG Dragon. Well, Ant69 is within DRS range, and interestingly, I said to Ant69 before the race that you're right in the mix of a 9-car fight in the standings. Can you gain on those around you here in America?
I have to cut you off. Go to Valdemar right now. Valdemar is under pressure from Kelso. Valdemar went too deep going on to the long straight. Kelso got DRS right now, but I think Valdemar has a low wing setting on. So Kelso they need touches. Might have some damage. The impact looked pretty heavy.
It was
the 3 cars were before the straight were kind of spread out. I think 1.5-2 seconds in between them, but suddenly Kelso just raked it into Valdemar.
I'm gonna have to cut you off now. I'm gonna have to cut you off now because SBL Mali Kekec is attacking Dave the Harp into turn 12. Dave the Harp goes defensive. Mali Kekec looks for a switchback, but Dave's covered it off. Although Dave did post on social media earlier today that if he does have a crash with anyone, it's because of the big bulge he's got on his eye. So, might make him a bit difficult for him to defend here, but he's defending quite well, and Mali Kekec, I think, is trying to get him to speed up. So, Mali Kekec still holding position. I was talking a little bit about Ant69, who is still attacking RDB. Ant69's, he's making the move! He's going past RDB! Or is he going to have to hold on until they go round? The long right-hander, side by side, there you go! And can't quite make the move. Excuse me, I'm choking. There's so much going on here. So Ant69 said USA is probably in my top 2 hated tracks, so I'm expecting nothing tonight. Hopefully the Ho half of the Double Toe Force India team can struggle here and I can fight him on track, and he is fighting him on track because he's just made the move around turn 1, and that's RDB now down into 13th place, but RDB is going to try and fight back, and RDB would be the Ho part of the Hey Ho Double Toe Force India team.
I wonder why that is.
It's because of his cowboy hat and boots, I think.
Oh, I thought he was going for a move then. While he was one for the battles earlier on, Hindle left behind 7 and 5 for all side by side. Lefty and Hindle both got past Carter now, so yeah, Hindle's just thrown everything out the window.
Well, yeah, I mean, Hindle at the moment is out of the points, meaning that anything that Konzo could score is going to be a gain on him. And Hindle knows just how important every single point is in a championship fight. So, yeah, Hindle on a charge. Tem, could you have a quick look? Hindle's going to get ready to make a move. Could you have a look if Konzo, is catching up to Rickster? The gap was 6 seconds before, but if you could check that out, I don't think Hindle's got fast enough straight line speed here. Oh, he's going for the move anyway. Down into turn 12, came from a long way back, but what a move. Fair play to Lefty Hardtail though. He saw it. He gave a bit of space. He would have been fully entitled to turn in there, but he decided he wasn't going to fight that one. Hindle definitely potentially driving angry right now.
Right. Fonzo is catching the gaps at around 3 seconds now, and Calzo pitted in about 15 as well and put a set of soft tyres on.
Okay, Ant69 and RDB still going. Bleeding Sunrise, you were going to say something just then?
Yeah. I'm trying to. I've got a bit of a timing update for you. Valdemar is now 4 seconds off the lead, and on the last lap.
I'm going to cut you off for a second. Williams and Renault side by side. I think that is Garfield, SBL Mali Kekec, and David Harper right there as well. So SBL Mali Kekec trying to make moves on the Williams, but the Williams defending hard, and the Williams is on the super soft tyre. But that super soft tyre is not going to last too long, and SBL Mali Kekec gets a good run out of turn 11. He'll get DRS. GP, I think. Is that GP in 7th place? In 6th place? Calzo. My apologies. So has Calzo made a pit stop then? He must have done.
Yep, I did just say that.
Okay, I wasn't listening to you. Nope.
Turning into James now.
Yep, give me that microphone. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he put a set of soft tyres on, and he should get to the end from there.
So I got something interesting. Valdemar, he's losing now a second a lap to Caribbean Crush. He looks like he is struggling a bit on his tires, and well, I think Caribbean Crush is going to pit in 2 or 3 laps. So if Caribbean Crush can pull that gap to around 8 seconds or so, then he might have a chance to fight for the win in the end. And as we saw over the last few races, all strategies come together in the end most of the time. So it's going to be interesting, yeah?
Yeah, something to do with that. As Valdemar might have realised that, yeah, Caribbean does have to make him a pit stop, so he might just be trying to conserve his tyres, save a bit of fuel just in case he does come back in at the end.
Yeah, then he might have the tyres to be able to defend if he needs it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then RDB is still doing it.
SBL Mali Kekec got a little bit too sideways there. Garfield may have a little run on him. Sorry, Tem, who was it you said we're getting close there?
No, I was just giving Ant some TV time. He's still behind RDB, so I'll let you know if these two go out again.
Okay, SBL Mali Kekec is going defensive against Garfield here, but SBL Mali Kekec got pretty decent straight line speed, so yeah, able to stay ahead. Just wondering if Hindle is catching up to from a Racing GP, who's on those medium compound tyres and could potentially be going to the end. There is a little bit of a gap between himself and Hindle. Not a massive gap, but a little bit of a gap. So that's going to evolve in a few laps' time. We'll see Lefty Hardtail there as well, and Farfber. So GP, Hindle, Lefty Hardtail and Farfber could also get quite close. And a quick mention about Gonk as well, sitting in 18th place at the moment, running on super soft tyres. But Caribbean Crush leading the way as Calzo puts in the fastest lap of the race so far. But Caribbean Crush hasn't pitted yet, Bleeding Sunrise, but you reckon he's going to be pitting at the end of this one?
Sorry, who did you talk about?
Caribbean Crush.
Caribbean Crush. Yeah, he's going to pit, I think, in 2 or 3 laps.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep the camera on him to see if he's going to pit at the end of this lap. So, guys, have a look around, see if anything's brewing, and shout me if we need to jump. Because I'm going to quickly mention question of the day again for the viewers. If you want to have a guess at this one, I still haven't had my co-commentators have a guess at it yet. The question of the day is a who am I? So, I have raced and won in Formula 1. I wasn't born in the country I represent, or born in the country I'm associated with. But 3 of my most famous quotes are, if everything seems under control, you're just not going fast enough. The other one is, if you wait, all that happens is that you get older. I know, I've got the camera on him. That's why I've got the camera on him. You're all right. You've now just interrupted me mid-sentence. So the second quote is, if you wait, all that happens is Bleeding Sunrise will interrupt you. No, he didn't say that. If you wait, all that happens is that you get older, and everything comes to those who wait except a cat. So, who am I? As Caribbean Crush exits the pits, it's going to be into 4th place, and it is for another set of the super soft tyres. So, Bleeding Sunrise, would you want to tell us about Caribbean Crush? There was something you mentioned a moment ago.
Yeah, he went into the pit, so he got a few cars in front of him to clear. I mean, when you just count the time that he needs to win on Valdemar. That it might be doable, but the cars in between him and Valdemar might spill the beans on him if he can't make it.
Definitely. I mean, this is the thing for Caribbean Crush. If everybody else is going to the end, then he can't waste time behind any driver. He's currently, well, let's see, K9 is 11 seconds off the leader, and Caribbean Crush is right behind him. So Caribbean Crush has got 12 seconds, 13 seconds to make up. He can't hang about.
Just that, you know, RDB's made a mistake in the first sector and just put Ant all over the back of him again, so these 2 might be having round 4. They're just coming into the hairpin where Dave rear-ended me last season, and then onto the big long straight.
I must have sneezed at that point. I don't remember it. I must have had my eyes closed.
I had to get that one in.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
he's got DRS, so I'll let you know if he does cruise past.
Well, this is it's a fight now for a point, effectively. This is a fight for the final point. And they've got Garfield catching them up. Hindle's catching them up. Lefty Hardtail is. Where's From Row Racing GP gone? Has he pitted for a set of super softs or something? Because he was ahead of Hindle, and he's not anymore.
I'm not too sure, but we do have Calzo catching up to his brother on those... Is Calzo pitted?
Well, he may have done, because Conzo did go super soft tyre, didn't he? So he may have pitted again.
Yeah. I'll have a look.
Well, this is getting really close now with RDB, Ant, and Garfield. Garfield really close to the back of Ant, and Garfield's on the faster soft compound tyre. He's making the move straight away on Ant 69, and it might not be a bad idea for Ant to just let Garfield go and attack RDB and then mug RDB while he's being attacked by Garfield.
I've got an update for you. Caribbean Crush just overtook Kane Leenda, and he won on his outlap 2 seconds on Valdemar. So he took Kane like it was taking candy from a baby. It looked pretty easy. Yep.
Okay. Well, keep us updated. Keep an eye on him. Let us know when he catches up to the next car.
When he went out of the pits, it was a gap of 13 seconds, and now after, you know, nearly 2 laps, it should come down to 9 seconds.
Yeah, well, I mean, if he's catching, if he's catching at 2 seconds a lap, and if Conzo is catching at a similar rate, Conzo may be able to catch the leader as well, because Conzo at the moment is 19.6 seconds off the lead. Let's see what that changes to through the next split time when he crosses the finish line, as Caribbean Crush goes and pops in the fastest lap of the race. So Conzo, what's it going to come down? How much quicker are you than the leader at the moment? Down to 18.5 as Conzo puts in the fastest lap. So Conzo may have a chance, especially if those medium tyres go off.
I'm looking at his lap times for a bit here, and he's got a nice 10 lap stint to do on his tyres, and like I say, looking at his last stint, it was pace was quite consistent all the way through, so like I say, he does stand a chance of at least the podium here.
That he does. Garfield has got himself up to 9th place ahead of RDB. Ant hasn't been able to capitalise because Hindle has snuck through into 11th place as well. excuse me, Hindle is catching up quite quickly to the back of RDB. And just a thought, guys, I mean, TempFear, you may be able to answer this one for me. Or is Hindle side by side with RDB? RDB did so well to avoid any kind of contact there, but Hindle showing that he is absolutely on a charge. He full on recovery. Yeah, Temp, I was going to say, when it comes to Valdemar, if he gets to a point where he realises, you know what, my tyres might not make it, what's the cut-off point for making that call to pit?
No. or 2 laps to go. Yeah, he's kind of at the point where he's got to go through Barker tyres. I'll have a look what that was in a minute. But I've also just had a look at the race director. I've gone and popped in their office. They're busy, I'll say that.
Oh, okay. Well, something that I'm just having a look at, as you mentioned, yeah, Farf, but unfortunately it looks like his race has come to an end. Valdemar is still going. Rickster, fantastic job, only 3.7 seconds behind him. But Caribbean Crush is already there. He's only, 2 seconds behind Rickster? So Caribbean Crush is absolutely flying.
You say that, but Rickster's catching Valdemar as well. But it wasn't this. He was further behind last I saw. So, it may change yet. Valdemar may find himself down at the brief of the podium.
Well, Konzo, he's managed to get the gap down to 16 seconds. I don't think he's going to come into play unless the leader has to pit. Kane Ianda, he's in 4th place at the moment, and he's only 9 seconds off the leader. What tyres is he on? He's on medium compound tyres, and I think he's actually catching up to Valdemar.
Valdemar needs to get a move on.
Yeah. He may have just tried to keep up with Caribbean at the start and then take Calzo, and he did. And it's possibly come out to bite him. Like I said yesterday, Bleeding Sunrise ruined my strategy, holding me up, and he ruined my tyres and everything. And it's surprising the effect it has.
Yeah. I mean, following someone through that Sector 1, it can absolutely destroy your tyres. However, I don't think Caribbean Crush is going to want to follow Rickster through Sector 1 because he's right behind him. He's within DRS, opens it up. He's going to have a look up the inside. Yes, he does. Rickster doesn't fight it, and I don't blame him because Caribbean Crush on those super soft tyres, there's not a lot that Rickster could do. He saw that he was catching him rapidly, and Rickster drove in a way that would cost him the least amount of time. Caribbean Crush now only 3.5 seconds off the leader, Valdemar. But what does Valdemar do? I don't think Valdemar can pit now, you know. I think he's got to hang it out.
I mean, defend like Michael Schumacher in the old days, and just make his rear end of the car really large.
I was going to say, do you mean crash into him like he did to Damon Hill in Australia?
No. I meant clean defending.
Well, I mean, yes, he's got to defend it, but I don't know if his tyres are going to give him anything to defend with.
That's true.
Dave, how far behind the leader did you say Konzo was the last lap?
16 seconds?
13 seconds.
Ooh, how far behind is Kane Ianda? Because Kane was 9 seconds.
He's 8.8 now.
So
Konzo is closing rapidly. I'll have a quick look at the time to see what the difference is, but it's at least 2 seconds a lap, if not more.
Okay, Bleeding Sunrise, can you have a look down the grid and give us a shout if we've got any battles or going on there? I just want to keep an eye on this at the moment because this is proper tense stuff.
RDB and 69 having a run on RDB down the straight with the DRS wide open. It looks like he's going on attack at the last moment. Yeah, he does. No, he doesn't. He does. Yeah, he does. No, he doesn't. And now he gets under attack and might lose in a position to Letty Hartle. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So it was a half-hearted attack and it didn't end well for him.
Unfortunate there. Quick look at that gap between Caribbean Crush and Valdemar, down to 2 seconds. So we've got a little bit of time. Is Calzo doing anything? He's only 15 seconds off the lead at the moment, but he's watching his older brother drive off into the distance as Calzo has got the gap to the leader down to 11 seconds. I don't think he's got enough laps left, though, to do anything about it. We'll have another quick look. Let's see, Garfield Hindle. Not a lot happening there at the moment, but it may kick off in a few laps' time.
Conzo may be able to get Kane Yander just quickly, so you know. I'll keep an eye on it.
Okay.
Now we got a 4-way battle for 11th position with Lefty Hardtail and RDB leading the group, and Dave the Harp, I think.
Well, I mean, it's kind of crucial for Lefty Hardtail that he makes a move if he can, because if he can score a point, it opens up the gap to Flora Racing GP. But at the same time, it doesn't matter too much if he can't score a point. But it does look like Lefty Hardtail's going to go for the move. Bleeding Sunrise, if you can have a quick look at Caribbean Crush and Lefty and Valdemar and let us know if they get close. So Lefty Hardtail about to make the move then on RDB, and he does make the move. Dave the Harp catching up to the back of Ant 69, but not close enough to do anything about it.
So Caribbean Crush is now at 1.0 seconds from Valdemar, and you know, especially, you know, just from looking, he looks a lot faster than Valdemar. Even on sector 1, on sector 1 he gained 2 tenths, and just from driving around, and I'm interested to know what Valdemar is going to do here.
Do you think he knows what he's going to do? I don't.
No, I don't know. Hope for the best.
Yeah. I mean, okay, worst case scenario, Caribbean Crush gets past him, he finishes second place. He can't argue with that, really. Second place is a fantastic result if he can take it. Yeah. But if he can hold off Caribbean Crush, then great stuff. I mean, it's possible that Valdemar, over the course of the last 5 laps, has gone, right, he's possibly going to catch me. I'm going to save fuel. And then he can run rich on the straights through sector 1 and have an opportunity to defend. If he's looked after his tyres enough to defend for these last 3 laps, if he can hold on to it, it'd be a fantastic way to end the race.
Oh yeah, something to note as well. I mean, Caribbean Crush has to take these tyres for 10 battling laps, and that's quite a lot of them. I mean, they're bright, shiny, and fast on the first half of it.
Here we go, here we go. So, Valdemar defends it. Caribbean Crush has to go around the outside. It's giving me terrible camera angles, but Valdemar holds on to the position. Defended it beautifully.
I mean, to continue, the super soft tires also end their life on the last lap of the race. They're going to be pretty bad at the end. It's not over yet.
That is true, and we've got to think as well. I mean, he's used 2 sets of super soft tyres as he gets very sideways through turn 10. Yeah, he's used 2 sets of super soft tyres, but I can't say I remember how many sets of super soft tyres he used in qualifying.
That is also true.
So, TempFear, do you have any updates for us?
Yeah, I was just about to interrupt. Conzo is getting a lot for first sector. He should be in DRS range now on
Caribbean Crush up the inside into turn 12. No, he's not confident about the brakes. Valdemar again defends quite nicely.
Conzo got the move. Yeah, quite easy. Simple DRS move. As Kane's fighting back a little bit though, he's trying. But he's on the outside. I'd be surprised if he can come back at this, but he has. He's surprisingly, he's gone at the inside. Undercut. Conzo's got the inside again. He's going to get squeezed here. Yeah, Kane, that's very good driving from Kane there. I'll be surprised if he can do that for another 2 laps, but if he stays in 4, then I'll give that to him.
Okay, second attempt up at the front then. Caribbean Crush right behind Valdemar. Valdemar goes defensive again, and it's no surprise that he tries that. Caribbean Crush is going to have to go really deep and a bit of switchback. No, there's contact between the 2 of them. And I was going to mention as well, if these guys do make contact or battle too hard, Richter is right there. That's all right.
Yeah,
go on.
Conzo should be ahead, just that you know. Yeah, should be.
Side by side.
Kenny staying in there.
Good. Well, is that Konzo being cautious, or is that K9 absolutely flying?
It's Konzo being cautious, and it's Kane going, I've got nothing to lose, and I know he just wants 2 points, so I'm going to push him.
It's also a bit in the character of Kane to just don't care and floor it and see what happens. It's something Kane would do.
Okay, Caribbean Crush having another look at Valdemar. Valdemar was a little bit of a late defensive move. Caribbean Crush is far enough up the inside on this occasion, makes the move into the lead of the race, but something tells me Valdemar is going to try and fight this one back as hard as he can.
He has been watching Max Verstappen from Canada last year.
Kane and Konzo had a little bit of Konzo, I think, for more on Kane's angle there. He had a bit of a half spin, we've managed to hold it instead of Calzo, but he's got Konzo.
Okay, I'm going to focus on Valdemar and Caribbean Crush for this final lap. So, guys, it's going to be up to you to let us know what is happening further down the grid, even as they come around the final corner. One more lap to go. Valdemar is in position to effectively attack, but Caribbean Crush goes defensive nice and early and says, you are getting no slipstream off me, young man. So he covers him into turn 1, but Valdemar trying to brake late, maybe runs a little too deep. That could have compromised him for the whole of the lap. He may still have an opportunity though if he can stay close enough on the exit of turn 10 and the run down to turn 11. Oh, Caribbean Crusher, his tyres beginning to suffer a little bit. He was a little bit out of shape through the S's in sector 1. This is tense. Go on.
It might even be a bit wise to give Caribbean Crush the lead now, because Valdemar is going to have a good DRS, and the slipstream is pretty powerful around the U.S.A. So it's gonna be the one action he needs to make today. Caribbean Crush already going defensive. We are seeing 2 Max Verstappen going at it at the same time.
Yep, Caribbean Crush I think is far enough ahead, unless Valdemar's going to make a late move on the brakes. He is braking late, but unfortunately it's too late, and yeah, I don't know if he's going to have another opportunity now. So Caribbean Crush holds on to the lead as they enter the final sector. Oh no, Valdemar's gone for the move on the inside. He did it earlier in the race. He's gone for it again now. I don't know if he perhaps pushed Caribbean Crush off the track there, but Valdemar is now into the lead of the race. We should have seen that one coming, but I wouldn't be surprised if Caribbean Crush has something to say about that as he's sideways around the penultimate corner. Has a look up the inside into the final corner, but Valdemar is going to cross the line in first place and take the victory.
He's second.
Rick, it's saying that Rickster's in first on my screen. It's saying everybody's first on my screen, so don't worry about that, folks.
This is the race directors having their say after they've been really busy, but I'm going to say there are a few battles out on track. Yeah. I've just seen IDB and hit the wall. IDB has let Amber through though, so that's nice to see.
Okay.
Al's not got any more damage than he does, I'll never know.
Hindle and Garfield
was another battle, and Lefty Hardtail and someone else.
The OG Dragon. Okay, so it looks like Hindle is going to be able to hold on just ahead of Garfield. He does. Lefty Hardtail looks like he's going to be 10th place. The OG Dragon potentially 11th place. Bit of a gap between those two. Guys, just remind you to take a screenshot of the result when it pops up on the screen, because I've got a feeling it's going to switch around a little bit. I mean, what a race we've had. It's gone surprisingly quickly. Ant69 is ahead of RDB, but after race penalties or in race penalties going to affect those positions. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, but what a race! What a race! So Valdemar,
you naughty boys.
Yeah.
Penalty.
Well, Valdemar had a time penalty, so even though he took the lead of the race, hang on a moment. No, Valdemar had a time penalty. Caribbean Crush had a time penalty. Rickster wins the race.
I told you they'd have to.
I'm seeing all the Dutchy names.
I mean, admittedly, I'm only seeing, or mainly seeing, drivers' real names. So, yeah, make sure you take a picture, Temp, if the names are right for you. But I'm pretty damn sure. I'm pretty sure that Rickster was one of the only people in a Red Bull today. So he's going to have been sat there having watched that whole battle and just taken the win.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had a feeling this would be the case. Penalties. I looked at the halfway stage and I saw the bar on the right hand side. I'm like, That's a lot of warnings. I might be here for a while.
Wow. Okay.
So I knew they were going to have some sort of effect, but he keeps it clean, and if he wins the race through it, then...
Well, yeah, definitely. Okay, we'll take a few moments before we invite the podium sitters in, guys. So let's get our breath. I'm going to try and run through the remaining drivers' pre-race comments that we didn't cover. So, Temp, if I'm about to say any that we have said, let me know. Kane Iander. I said to Kane, I mean, it looked like he had a good result today. I said to Kane, in your last race, you secured a podium. Not last time in Japan, because Kane wasn't racing then, the race before. So I asked if you can do that again today. You could jump above the 8 other drivers you are in a battle with in the standings. Can you do it? He said, all right, mate, I haven't practiced. I'll be hoping to have a good race tonight, though, as I don't mind the track. Hopefully myself and Garfield have a strong race tonight. We've spoke about securing 4th place in the Constructors, but that could be kind of a hard task since Valdemar and Kekec are so close behind and they're quick too. He went on to say that Malaysia was the highlight of his season. Hopefully he can repeat something similar tonight. I tell you what, he put on a great display fighting with Konzo, that's for sure. Dave the Harp, he got his pre-race comments in 4 days ago. He messaged me saying, feeling confident in myself to do better in America. It's a technical track. I seem to have found a good rhythm in practice. Hope to avoid any carnage and bring it home in the points. Let's see who else. Rickster. I mean, we've got to mention Rickster's pre-race comments, haven't we? He's going to be on the podium chat in a moment. So I said to Rickster, in the driver's standings, there is a bit of a gap between you in 5th and GP in 4th. And Temp, you might want to have a quick look at their points, right?
I just realised that.
Okay, so I said there's a bit of a gap between you in 5th and GP in 4th. Can you close the gap and make a fight of it, or is it a defence of your position to those guys behind you? So Rickster goes on to say, sure, I like the U.S.A. circuit, but I've never really brought in a good result in the past. Hopefully we'll rectify this today and get some good solid points after what was a difficult Japanese Grand Prix for me. However, I haven't done any practice at the time of writing this message, so I'm not sure how I'm going to do. As always, I'm going to do my best to close in on GP, but I'd say now it's more about driving safely to secure my position and defend from the guys behind. And Temp, what would that do? I mean, it's a provisional result, but what would that do for Rickster regarding lefty hardtail and GP?
It does a massive amount. I mean, he's on about keeping it clean there and smooth, and well, he's done that today, and look what it's done for him. And yeah, you're on about the battles in the standings. How, you know, there's a 2 car battle there, 3 car battle there, 8 car battle there. Well, he's just removed himself from the battle for 5th, and he's included himself in the battle for 3rd. He's going to be about 10 points behind if this result stands behind GP. So, you know, and that's about what, no more than 25 points, 30 points max behind Lefty. So if we can even just finish 4th every race now, he gives himself a great chance to jump those guys.
That he does. Okay, Millstar had the OG Dragon reserving for him. So I asked the OG Dragon, in as a reserve for the Toro Rosso team, what are your goals for Kota? He said, thanks to Millstar for trusting me with his car for this race, and my main objective is to get past turn 4, but also to try and score a point or 2. And yeah, he was undecided on his tyres. Yuzi, unfortunately, I think he got disconnected partway through the race. And I said, you have been chosen as the permanent teammate for Lefty Hardtail, by Lefty Hardtail. What are your thoughts approaching this race? And he said, well, all I can say is I am up against it with the speed of some of these guys. I will probably need to go for the softer compound to keep up with them. And I will just be looking to score as many points as possible for the team and prove to Lefty that he chose well in picking me for the number 2 seat. Let's see, Valdemar. Okay, Valdemar and SBL Mali Kekec. Interesting races for the two of them. With Valdemar, I said you are right in the mix of a 9-car fight in the standings. Can you gain on those around you here in America? And will we see Renault up front in qualifying? Well, we did, but it was SBL Mali Kekec on pole. Valdemar said, I'll make sure I come out on top between those 9 cars. I am sure we will see one of the Renaults up front. Maybe Valdemar knew SBL Mali Kekec would have problems today, and maybe that's because when I asked Mali Kekec that you're within reach of finishing 5th in the driver's standings, can you do it? He said, "Oh wait, is the race today? Not like I've done any practice, and maybe I can. I don't know. I haven't looked at the standings." And finally, so TempFear would send an invite to Rickster, Valdemar, and Caribbean Crush, I think it is, or suggest them to Bleeding Sunrise, and he can invite them in. Finally, pre-race comments from Gonk. I said to him, "As the admins pick reserve, how are you approaching this event at one of the most up and down tracks on the calendar?" He said, "I'm looking forward to this race as I am using a steering wheel for the first time and hoping my pace will be a lot quicker than the pad I used to be on. I like this circuit as it is very technical and has to be one of my favourites." Well, hopefully he had fun out there in the wet to dry conditions in America.
I'll tell you what. We're going to have a very, very happy Rickster. He's just posted something in the FRR chat. And I can't say all of it, but let's put it this way, he can't believe he won. And he's saying it a few times.
I can imagine he's absolutely over the moon. But, I mean, we kind of hinted on it partway through the race that if the leaders began to battle, Rickster is there to take the play, to take the opportunity. I didn't expect it to come in the way that it did, and he may not have done either, but we'll find out how he is when he does come back in. But I mean, one thing that can be said, as Rickster has joined us, Rickster, make sure you've got your microphone set to allow to be shared before you start cheering and whooping. Just try not to swear. One thing that can be said, though, from the World Championship race yesterday and the World Series race today, the championship leaders, their racers, have not gone to plan. And at least today, Hindle can't blame me for having anything to do with the question that I asked him before the race. That is unless what he had to eat upset his stomach and made the rear end a little more twitchy than usual. Okay. So, are we just waiting on Caribbean Crush to join us for the podiums?
We are. I have suggested him. I'm not sure if you did invite him or not.
And I invited him.
Okay, well, hopefully
He's probably
Caribbean...
a bit hurt.
He might be. Well, while we wait for Caribbean Crush, I reckon we crack on with Rickster. Rickster, I haven't seen it, but I've been told you're a little bit surprised with the victory there. What are your emotions at this point?
I'm in absolute shock. Absolute shock. Can't believe it. I didn't expect to get on the podium this season, let alone win.
Well, you've won. What do you do now?
I haven't got a clue.
Well, usually as a race is going on, as a commentator, we sit there and think, right, I'll see if I've got any... I can think of some questions as we go along. I haven't really got any, other than one. Well, two. Maybe three, we'll see. You went for the medium compound tyre. I'm guessing you knew it could take you to the end of the race, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, and the other question, for the last 5 or 6 laps, once Caribbean Crush had got past you, you're sat there watching the battle that unfolded ahead. What's going through your mind? Did you know about their time penalties?
I had no idea about the time penalties. I knew Caribbean Crush was going to get me. But I knew if I just drove smoothly and fairly, and like I did, I'd be able to keep the last spot on the podium. My mind was already doing backflips over getting a podium. And I didn't really think about the win. I was like, "Do you know what, podium? I'm so happy with that. Cannot believe it." And I was coming around that last corner and I screamed. I was like, "Get in!" And then I went over the line and I saw it P1 in the top corner and I screamed.
Your most manly moment, I assume.
Yeah.
Is it a World Series version of Stocky's first win?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you got your voice to share on your footage?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's not your first win. You've won races before in front of racing, but obviously, the last season or so, it's not quite gone to plan. So, all I'll say is, well done, mate. Congratulations on taking that. I'm going to hand over to my co-commentators. TempFear, you got any questions for Rickster?
Well, I'm in the same situation as you. I haven't really got one. I mean, you had probably one of the best, in terms of like what I saw, in terms of your position gained at the start. You jumped the most on the first lap from when you qualified. I mean, I don't know if you saw any incidents or not, or you just went for it and you knew the Mercedes was going to be cautious. So speak about that. And then also, when you shot around at the end, was it a bit nervous? Because, like I say, I'm not 100% sure. I don't really remember you winning races in World Series before, but I heard, is it you at Singapore where you ran out of fuel on the last lap or got a puncture?
That's happened to me like 5 times.
Yeah. So was there something like that going through your head? Like, have I got enough fuel? Is my tyres okay?
No, with fuel I was fine. I knew my fuel was okay. I was managing that pretty well over the race. I knew I'd get to the end of the fuel. I was worried about my tyres. I got to about lap 25 and I was just hoping I didn't get a puncture. I think my tyres were on like 60 odd percent.
60's fine.
Yeah, I know, but it was still going through my head. And I knew this season ain't been the best for me. I've just been really unlucky this season, and with the talent in series this season, it's just hard to even get top 5. But I'm absolutely ecstatic and over the moon with the win. But,
I can hear it in your voice. Well done, mate. It was a surprise, but I did look at the race director's halfway through, and well, I knew you had something there. You had a chance. So yeah, well done, mate.
cheers.
Okay, Bleeding Sunrise, any questions for Rickster?
Yeah, I got one for you. I'm kind of in the same boat as you jumped everyone just in the end, but during the race you saw a few guys battle in front, but you never really had a battle for the lead of the race. What went through your mind? Did you want to attack to the front, or were you also looking a bit to who was behind you?
I didn't really, if I'm honest, I didn't really want to get anywhere near the front two because I knew they were battling, and I knew if I was battling with them, it would slow me down a lot. So I just, like I said, I just wanted to hold position really. I saw people pitting, and I was like, I wonder if I should pit, and I was like, no, I'm going to stick it out. I know these tyres can last. But yeah, I knew Konzo was going to be coming up on me at the end, and maybe Calzo as well, but I wasn't too sure. But I was literally just focused on putting them lap times in to keep that gap to Konzo, so I did have a bit of a chance to fight at the end. And turns out I still finished about 5 seconds in front of him, so managed it pretty well.
So it was easy for you to keep your head clear and have a look at your objectives.
Yeah, definitely.
It's good. Good
Something
stuff.
else I wanted to quickly put in with. So, I mean, you probably had a great view of the battle that Valdemar and Caribbean had, especially into turn 1 where it was on the hill. You just got it from row C. Was you like, oh god, take each other out. God, just do it. Just do it. Was you thinking about that or not?
I was, like I said, I was just cruising behind them, and I was hoping they were going to take each other out. But like I said, I was happy with the 3rd place. But
you struggled to keep it in a straight line.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got one more question for you before we move on to 2nd place, and I'll need a reminder now it wasn't finished in 2nd with the way that ended. Do you remember what your pre-race question was and what your answer was?
I can't. Oh no, it was something about closing the points gap to GP or defending from the people behind.
Yeah. Could you close the gap to 5th place, GP, who was in 4th, and you was kind of like, maybe not, maybe more of a defence. Well, if this result stands, you're going to catch both of the cars ahead of you, because unfortunately they didn't have the best of results. So not only has it been a surprise win for you, but you've gone and just closed the gap down massively. You've all of a sudden put yourself in the hunt. So once again, well done. Take a picture of that big smile, because you might want to remember that. So, okay, don't go anywhere just yet. We'll move on to 2nd place. So, was it Valdemar? Was it Caribbean Crush?
It was.
Was it Valdemar? Was it Caribbean? It was Valdemar. Okay. I've got one question, and I'm going to go straight into the deep end here, right? Throughout that race, Valdemar, well done on the 2nd place, by the way. Throughout that race, we saw one absolutely phenomenal overtake from you. And we saw one attempt to replicate it on the last lap. Did it go as well on the last lap as it did on the previous one? Any thoughts about that last-ditch attempt to take the position?
Well, if you don't try on the last lap, you might as well just don't race, because you want to win and you've got to try it. Might have been a bit forceful, but you have to try.
Okay. Well, I'm going to hand straight over to my commentary team on this one. I thought I'd get the hard question in straight away. I will say well done, though. I mean, your drive from start to finish was very exciting to watch. But I will hand over to my co-commentators. So, Bleeding Sunrise, do you have any questions for Valdemar?
Yeah, I do. Well done, mate. Well done on the battle as well in the end. Was really fun to watch. I gotta ask, when you switched to medium tires, of course you saw Caribbean Crush going to the super soft and knowing that he would stop again. Did you think that he would catch you in the end, or come near you?
I actually thought that he would be miles off when I saw him put the super soft on, but obviously he had great pace and caught up at the end.
So what did you think when you saw him in your mirrors again? When he popped up on your HUD?
Not again, but I think we had a good battle.
All right, thanks. And I thought you on quali you were on pole, professional pole for quite some time, and in the end you qualified P4. What's your feeling about it?
Oh, I was glad P4. I thought it would have been way worse than that. So and then I got up to a flying start as well, so that was perfect.
Yeah, you had a good try, and you fought well in the end. I mean, Caribbean Crush was raking in the seconds on his last stint, and then you seem to have some tires left to be able to defend with. So well done.
Yeah, I also had a bit of fuel left, so I could put in rich mix to defend.
That's always good. So,
Yeah.
TempFear, do you have something else to add?
I do.
To the Inquisition.
0.148. That's how far he is behind. I'm not saying that to rib him, but I didn't see your overtake or attempted overtake on Caribbean on the last lap. But from what I heard, it wasn't the tidiest. It more than likely cost you a lot of time, and both you and Caribbean. Do you kind of regret that now?
No, not at all. Not at all. I went for the gaps, all the gaps, so I have to do it.
That's fair enough. Trying to think what else we got. I mean, like you say, you went. It was like one of two ways you could go that race. It was either you go on the mediums, go to the end, or you do two super softs. So, what was your thinking when it got to the point where it started to dry out? Because like I say, we've had a good split. We had like a good few drivers doing medium and equal amount doing soft, super soft. So what's he thinking behind it?
Well, I saw when it's not sunny, the tire wear usually is better. So I thought medium should last to the end without any huge problems, and that was really my thinking. That it wasn't so hot, and I could get the tires to the end.
That's very true.
Okay.
And finally, I mean, like I say, you've lost out to a penalty. Was you annoyed when you got the penalty, or was there one of your ETLs that you got a warning for that you thought, I shouldn't have got that, or you really frustrated yourself for getting it?
No, I'm quite happy I only got one penalty, because last time I raced here I got 18 seconds worth of penalties.
I was going to mention it, Valdemar. You're lucky.
So it's a huge improvement from that.
Well, that's very true indeed.
Caribbean Crush is sat there now thinking, why couldn't he have got that today? I've got one more question. I've got one more question for Valdemar. Two actually. It's one that's kind of going to turn into two probably. Can you predict the future?
What?
Well, you said in your pre-race comments, you said, I am sure we will see one of the Renaults up front. Well, you were up at the front, your teammate gets disconnected at the end of qualifying, which effectively puts his race to an end. So can you predict the future? Did you know that SBL Malik Kekech was going to have those problems, and it was you that was going to steal the show?
Nah, I feel really gutted for him because we could have gotten a really, really good team result, even though in the end it's alright. I think he finished 7th, so thinking that he lost 2 laps. I think it's 2 laps, right? That you miss. Yeah, so I think overall it's quite good. It's quite a good result.
Okay, well, very well done to yourself on taking the provisional 2nd place and for putting on a great race for us. We are going to move on to Caribbean Crush, but don't go anywhere just yet. So we'll go to Caribbean Crush. And Caribbean Crush, thank you for sort of sitting there patiently while we chat to the other two. Obviously, a surprise win for Rickster. We talked a little bit with Valdemar about his race and that particular overtake, and we'll get on to that overtake from your view in a moment, but I just want to say what a drive you put on there. I mean, in the wet conditions, you looked the more aggressive, you looked the more confident. In the dry conditions, straight away you went super soft, that's what I'm doing, and you almost put it into effect perfectly. So first off, thank you for putting on a show for us like that. Secondly, commiserations. Thirdly, did you have a similar view of the overtake?
Oh, he forced me straight right off the track. That was basically it, really. Completely forced me wide off the track. So there's nothing I could do. I couldn't pass him later on because it was too late. So
yeah. Well, I said we'd get into the hard-hitting one, so we might leave that one there for now because it sounds like you want to talk about that a little bit more in private. Up until that point, though, a fantastic race, a fantastic drive. Was there any difficulties with your strategy?
I forgot to select the mediums again, so... Yeah.
So it wasn't a planned...
I was going to select the mediums, but when I came out on the super softs, I thought, I've lost this race, so I just had to get my head down and try and pull away and make the strategy that I did work.
Interesting. So it was a mistake then, going on to the super soft and the additional stop, but a mistake that it did put you in play for the win. That's for certain. I mean, at what point did you realise, okay, I've got a chance here? Was it going through that first couple of sectors where you saw how much time you gained?
Yes. On Rickster, when I was behind Rickster, I could see I was gaining about a second per sector, so I knew that it wasn't over, and Valdemar wasn't. And he was catching Valdemar as well, so I knew that I was catching them both at a good rate to catch them towards the end of the race. So I knew that the race wasn't over yet.
Okay. Well, I'll hand over to my co-commentators in a moment. I'm just curious if you had an engineer in your ear that was able to give you some calming words after that first pit stop.
No, I didn't have no engineer.
Would it have helped if there had been someone there saying, don't worry, you can do this, or would they have probably just got an ear bashing?
Yeah, they probably would, but I motivated myself to go and catch them up anyway, so at least I come third.
Yeah. Well, it was a good drive, it was a good job, it was ever so close to taking first, but unfortunately with the time penalties, I mean, unfortunately, had you finished first, chances are that wouldn't have been the position you've ended up in. But you never know. If you'd been able to pull away, who knows what could have happened. I am going to hand over to my co-commentators. So, TempFear, you got any questions for Caribbean Crush?
Qualifying. You qualified 9th, but you qualified on soft tyres, not super soft. So was you aware that it was going to rain at the start of the race?
No. Wasn't aware at all.
Where do you think you would have qualified, provided you would have gone on the super softs then? Because, I mean, we see a lot of drivers qualifying on that middle tyre as it would be. So when you saw everyone else on super soft, you're thinking, am I doing something wrong here? Or you just carry on with what you were doing and just focusing that straight on that? Okay, fair enough. Cool.
Yeah, I went back out on super softs, but it was a bit too late, so yeah, that was it.
Fair enough. But then, like I say, so you qualified 9th, but we saw you in the top 4 or 5 on the first lap. So take us through your start. I mean, like I say, DP may have not seen it. but I certainly didn't. So take us through it.
Through turn one, I think a lot of people. I broke really late and I went wide, so I didn't get caught up any incidents in the inside of the corner. So when I got on the exit, I was P6, so I wondered what happened to the other 3 cars who were in front of me. I saw, don't remember what car. He went flying off the track. I don't remember what car it was.
It might have been Conza, I think. He went off.
And I was P5 for a brief moment, and then I was following the guys through the S section, and the time I was gaining on them, I knew that I had the pace to get through the field quickly, so I made sure I did that without losing the front wing or anything.
Just goes to show, then keep it clean and find yourself in some pretty handy positions. Bleeding Sunrise.
Yeah, I thank you very much. I had one question for you. I wanted to ask you when you switched to the Supersoft, why you would do that. Was it something you would do to do something else, or you generally think it was faster? But you said it was a mistake, which was really surprising. I didn't really have another question for you, to be honest. But really well done. It was a nerve-wracking battle from against Valdemar, and we had all kinds of noises from the commentary box when the battle went on in the last lap. I'm sure if you watch it back, you will enjoy it. But, so well done, and I hope you're happy with the P3 because it's a mighty good result.
Okay. Right, guys, don't rush off just yet, and also to the viewers, because we have still got question of the day to get through. Also, if any of the viewers have got any questions they'd like us to put to the podium sitters, feel free to do them. GP did say tell Rickster he may catch Lefty in the points, but he also said that he will make sure that you don't catch him. But yeah, if any of you has got any questions they would like us to ask to the podium sitters, get them in. But I'm going to do question of the day, which Rickster means you're going to have to answer it first. The joys of finishing first. But I have got one final question for you before we do that. Obviously, you've had the surprise victory. You've had a great race there. Who was the first person you've sent a message to say that I won?
His mum.
Well, he's been helping me out all season, and I'd said if I ever get on the podium this season, I'll shout him out. But coming to get you from World Championships, been helping me out with setup this season and stuff like that. Because I've not been able to practice properly, so I've not, I don't really have a lot of time on my hands nowadays, but he's been helping me out this season, which he hasn't had to do. But he did say jokingly at the start of the race, now go and get that win. And then I went and got the win. So now so now I've just got to wait for him to get the win in the championship. So
yeah. Good stuff. Okay, so I am going to move on to question of the day. And my co-commentators, we still haven't had your answers yet, so we need to get those as well. You've had about an hour and a half to think of the answer of this as well. So, question of the day is a who am I? So, I have raced and won in Formula One. I wasn't born in the country I represent, and I wasn't born in the country I'm associated with. But 3 of my most famous quotes are, if everything seems under control, you're just not going fast enough. The next one is, if you wait, all that happens is that you get older. And finally, everything comes to those who wait, except a cat. Who am I? Rickster, any ideas?
No. None at all.
Come on, we know you're happy with your victory. You can't be as happy as RDB was last night, apparently. But that made no sense to these guys until they watched this video back. But come on, somebody within F1. I'm sure you can give us a name.
You say he's won in F1.
I'll read it out again. I have raced and won in F1. I have raced and won in Formula 1. I wasn't born in the country I represent or born in the country I'm associated with. But 3 of my most famous quotes are, if everything seems under control, you're just not going fast enough. If you wait, all that happens is that you get older. And everything comes to those who wait, except a cat.
I honestly don't know. It's the country's bit that's getting me.
Should I throw something in here? I'll ask you this, Dave. Does he have something to do with IndyCar? Is he related in some way?
I'm saying absolutely nothing.
I tried to help him out here.
I know who it is. I'm pretty confident I know who it is.
Go on then, Valdemar. Who do you think it is?
Mario Andretti.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, Caribbean Crush. Who do you think it is?
Mario Andretti.
Oh, you're just following him.
No.
Okay, Temp. Bleeding Sunrise. Who do you think it is?
I need to say.
Valdemar might be right, but my first hunch, I have no idea, was Jacques Villeneuve, because he always says silly things.
Oh. And Temp?
No, or Damon Hill was something that came to mind, but I have no idea.
Mario Andretti.
Write me up for Jacques Villeneuve.
Well, you know what? Okay, you're Jacques Villeneuve. There have been a few guesses on the YouTube chat, and I've got to say, Temp, I think you kind of spoiled it by mentioning, is it anything to do with IndyCars? It is Mario.
There's so few Formula 1 drivers in there.
True. But yeah, Valdemar, Caribbean Crush, Millstar, a couple of others on YouTube were correct. It is Mario Andretti. And Rickster, just to ease your mind of the country bit getting you a bit confused, Mario Andretti is an Italian-born American former racing driver. One of the most successful Americans in the history of the sport, but he was born in Motovun, Croatia. So he was born in Croatia, but he's actually American, but he's associated with Italy. So that's where that bit came into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
His head's too fried from his victory.
Yeah, he's too. But having said that, here's something that might help you as well, Rickster. Coming to get you has posted on YouTube, and he said, "Tell Rickster you earned it. I helped with setup, but you still need to drive the car across the finish line in first. Well done, bud." Well, you didn't cross the finish line in first, but you have finished the race in first.
You know how to make someone feel great, don't you?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Got to bring them back down to earth for the bump, haven't they? Yeah, we'll be happy. Just a reminder, though, to everybody, it is a provisional result. I'm not trying to get you down, Rickster, don't worry. It is only a provisional result, and the result will be confirmed a week on Saturday. So you can check out Front Row Racing for the current driver standings, and then the confirmed result a week on Saturday. Okay, next up on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel will be next Wednesday for the World Championship Reserves Round 19 from Mexico, I believe it is. We'll be live from about 7:25 p.m, so make sure you come and join us for that. The World Championship Reserves is the feeder series into the World Championship. And then next Thursday, we've got the World Series Reserves. Again, round 19 from Mexico, where assists are allowed. Again, it's the feeder series into the World Series, where the likes of Caribbean Crush have raced, Curly Whirly, Calzo, quite a few of the drivers, Garfield, Kane Ianda. There's a few of them that have worked their way into the main series, and some other guy as well. He keeps shouting in my ear hole when I got the camera on a car driving into the pits in the middle of the question of the day comments.
I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
all
sorry.
right. It's all right. I'll let you off. I will just say, though, thank you very much to TempFear for joining us on commentary once again. And also a big thank you to Bleeding Sunrise for coming and helping us out today. Fantastic job by the both of you. And finally, thank you and well done to all of the drivers that took part today. And thank you to the viewers. Without you, nobody watches the show other than the drivers. But they're all a little egotistical, aren't they, Brickster? Are they? Are we going to have a big head after that win?
I'll stay humble.
You know what? After winning in the heat of America, you're allowed to strut around in your underwear, giving it, I'm a winner, baby. Okay, this has been the Front Row Racing World Series. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and come and join us again soon. See you all later.